Good Tuesday morning again, everybody. Now, I heard from many of you last week that you loved hearing about some of the things from the Holy Land trip that I took during sabbatical, so I thought I'd share something else with you. On the northwest shore of the Sea of Galilee is the town of Tabgha. Now, this is where Jesus fed the 5,000. Remember, it was just 5,000 men, so it was probably 15,000 women and children. And there are only two miracles in all four Gospels that are together. It's the resurrection and the feeding of the 5,000. So this is an important story for most Christians that they will have heard. In Tabgha, there's the Church of the Multiplication of Loaves and Fishes. That's the actual name. And it was built over ruins of previous churches that were destroyed by the Persians in 614 AD. These ruins were rediscovered in the 19th century and excavated in the 1930s, and a new church was built and dedicated in 1982. The ruins that were unearthed revealed marvelous mosaics referring to this miracle. I have a picture that I took. This is inside the Church of the Multiplication of Loaves and Fishes. This is the actual mosaic, and here is the rendition of that miracle. I even bought a tile that will remind me of this, and a magnet. Now, as I began to research this study and study this miracle of Jesus, I came upon a commentary by this guy named Paul Tripp. And it piqued my interest because his focus was the little boy in this story. Remember, Jesus was tired and he went up to the mountain, but the crowds followed him. And when Jesus saw this crowd, he had compassion on them for their physical and their spiritual needs. And Jesus turned to Philip and asked, "Where are we going to buy bread to feed all these people?" Knowing exactly what he was going to do, he was testing the disciples' faith. Well, the disciple Andrew brought this little boy carrying a basket with 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. You all know what happened next. After this devotional, go to the Gospels and read all 4 renditions of this in Matthew 14:13 through 21, Mark 6:31 through 44, Luke 9:10 through 17, and John 6:1 through 14. Now, Paul Tripp in his commentary stresses remembering this little boy. Listen to what he said. No one in the crowd would have thought that this boy mattered. No one would have imagined that what he was carrying in his little basket would not be only the provision of the moment, but the basis of one of the most significant sermons Jesus ever preached. This was one little boy in the crowd with a little bit of seafood and bread. But he had been chosen by God to be a significant piece of the Messiah's redemptive plan, not only for that day, for the rest of human history. No one knew that after this moment, every man, woman, and child who trusted in Jesus and read the Bible would know this boy, know exactly what was in his basket that day, and know how Jesus used him to make the point of points about his identity. We will never know which little person God will use and how. That means that we're never just lost in the crowd. We're never without anything to offer. We never know who the Lord will claim and use in ways that we can't predict or haven't intended. The Lord knows us all. God knows where we are, what we have, and how we can be used. God is the divine author over each and every moment, writing our stories. God can do eternally amazing things with the little fragments of our lives that we're carrying around and that we tend to think aren't worth much. What if that little boy said no to the stranger who came and said that Jesus wanted his food? What if he had run as fast as he could into the crowd and disappeared? What if his parents had said, "That's our food, leave us alone"? But the story didn't happen that way. The boy selflessly gave up his little meal, and Jesus did with it what only the Son of God could do. Thousands of people were fed with plenty of leftovers. Christ did this impossible through an unremarkable kid in the middle of a very big crowd. We never know what God will ask of us. We never know when God will ask it. We never know ahead of time what will happen when God does. And we never know how God will redeem our little bits and pieces and use them to give grace to the hungry. I really like that. Well, as we continue in this COVID confinement, or what I like to call this wilderness time, let's not lose heart. Look beyond ourselves like the little boy with the basket of loaves and fishes. It may be writing notes of encouragement to people that you know are lonely or might need a lift. It may be providing meals for frontline workers from area local restaurants. Maybe making masks for healthcare workers. It may be making 5 phone calls a day, connecting with family and friends. Be creative and look for new ways to connect and be a light in the world around you. This wilderness time will not last forever. This is only a season. Let us all pray for a vaccine and treatment so that we can return to the world as we knew it. Though I don't think life will ever return to exactly the way it was, and that may not be all bad. We all have had the opportunity to reflect and discover the most important things in our lives during this wilderness time. And hopefully, this will lead to our letting go of some things that may not have been good for us in the long run. My prayers are with all of us as we journey through this wilderness time and as we prepare to slowly return to life outside the walls of our homes. May we be like the little boy with the loaves and fishes, willing to share not just what we have, but share ourselves with our families, our community, and our world. I pray shalom to all of you. This is a Hebrew word for peace, harmony, and well-being. And being from the South, I grew up in Alabama. I bought this little reminder. Shalom, y'all. Have a great day.